Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So it's about 1:45. It is 21.9 degrees Celsius, 75% humidity. It is a humid day, it's uncomfortable. So it's about the 9th of June, Tuesday, 71 and change degrees. It's kind of been raining for 3 minutes and stopping, so my solar cells there aren't getting a full charge. Also in the summer, the angle of the sun is more, like this, so it doesn't, the low E glass is more efficient at getting rid of the light. During the winter, the sun's rays are more like this, and more sun actually gets to the solar panels that are located on the wrong side of low E glass. So, it was December 27th, 2014 that I bought this 200X, and the guy kind of dropped a 200S motor into the hole of the frame. It didn't have any motor mounts. The exhaust system was the one for the other one. It didn't have foot pegs. Obviously the whole chain situation was screwed up, so there were a lot of issues with this bike, but it took me more than 6 months to get it to this point. This is a first start. You can see I'm using my little gas can, my little weed whacker gas can. I'm using my portable ignition system, and let's see how we do. Nice, not bad. I haven't started this thing. This is the first start, really. Oh, come on. Gotta turn that down. That's the only problem with starting something up for the first time on YouTube. You always kind of get a bit of a surprise. For some reason my throttle is not shutting down all the way, so I'm going to have to troubleshoot that. I obviously don't want to go for the ride of my life, but other than that, she's ready to go, right? You can see it's sitting on 3 aired up tires, and I slimed them up. See the slime right there, particularly the back ones. I replaced the valves. I forgot where I was, some flea market somewhere, and they had this nice little kit. I think it was $1. Oh no, maybe it was Harbor Freight. It was really cheap. It came with 4 of those black caps, 4 of those silver caps, tire gauge, which is about useless. But if you see on the far left, those little valves, those little Schrade valves. It came with 4 of those, so I replaced the Schrade valves. But yeah, I'm a little surprised she's racing up. I'm wondering what I did wrong. I'm going to take you guys for a quick ride and call this done and successful. My buddy Ghetto Hillbilly mentioned he had one that was racing like this, and smoking. So let's get the cap off here, see what we see. No, I mean, that seemed to be down all the way. Right, if you look down, the throat down there, I'm not sure you could see it, down that hole, it's all settled in properly. So I'm not sure why she's racing. I'll have to troubleshoot it some more. I mean, things one could do is, if you can actually drop this pin so it goes further into the carburetor. That'll give it a little less gas. So that's one thing. Oh, by the way, Mr. Hillbilly there, when you're checking a stator out, and it doesn't matter if it's 200S or X or E or any of them, you from the CDI, you either unplug the CDI unit and put a probe in there and go to green, which should be hooked to your ground. And by the way, your green should, between the green and the body, you should have like 0 ohms, and between the red and black and ground, you should have a couple hundred ohms. And what's helpful is if you don't, or 300 ohms, between 200 and 300 ohms. And if you're making that measurement and you're using a digital meter and the thing's flashing and going all bizarre on you, you should adjust the range until you actually do see what the ohm value is. You mentioned you checked several of them and they were all bad, which is kind of surprising. Out of all the bikes I have and have touched and all that, let's say it's over 100 of them, the really old ATC 200s, I've had a couple of those with blown stators, but I've really never had a more modern bike blow a stator. I have some stators that have been damaged, either the way the people put them in or I think I moved the bike up. I did. It was that TRX 200, the quad, which has basically the same engine as the 200 ES, which has the same engine as the 200E, but no reverse. Anyway, this one has, no, wrong one. This one actually had a bad stator, which was a surprise. I rarely find them, but not only does it have a bad stator, an open stator, but it has a bunch of, somebody's been in there screwing around going on there. So I don't know. Given some of the work I've seen on that bike, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't cut the wire when they put the cover on or something like that. So that, I'm not blaming that on the stator yet. I'm kind of figuring it's some bad behavior by the person who installed it. But that's an assumption. That's not knowledge. That's a guess, just because of some of the other work I saw that they did. I got to troubleshoot this, because if I put that puppy in gear, I'm going to be probably running into that Corolla over there as I'm trying to drive it with one hand. And though would make a great YouTube video, everybody would find that amusing, my wife, not so much. So we're going to try not to do that. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. I probably should have started this before I started the camera, because now you guys are getting another video of, look, it's almost ready to ride, and you guys are probably about sick of those by now. But on the positive side, you can see the chains on here. I got that 50 chain, the 50 size chain. I got that half link to work, and I ordered the right ones, which is good. You guys get to see my hack job, my wiring hack work, which is also good. You guys can see the pretty air filter on there, the exhaust system. You guys can hear how good the engine sounds. You can see she does bark out a little bit of smoke, but this thing hasn't been running a while, so that's not a surprise. I broke a bolt off down there. See that bottom bolt? So I gotta, drill that out. The other ones are all CZ also. I don't know what the problem is. They were all the right bolts. I probably should have put anti-seize before I put them in. I'm a moron sometimes, especially when the anti-seize is like right there. Alright folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Please keep your feet down, keep your head up, and thanks to Bill Stanton for taking the ride out here. It was good to meet him. Fun to hang out with him for the day. Sent him home with a couple of projects that I'm never ever going to get to. If it said Honda on them, he wouldn't have left with those, but because it says Suzuki on them, it was time for them to go. They were just sitting out back, and after a while they deteriorate, then the tires go bad, and then before you can even consider putting them together, you got to dig up a set of tires, and those tires, they used the tires weren't that strange, but the rims were, so I would have had to change tires, and then it's better that while there's still some life in them, to let them get to a home where they're gonna eventually somebody's gonna do something with them. For me, I was never ever gonna get around to doing anything with them. I'm barely gonna get around to the Honda stuff, if I do get around to all the Honda stuff. So it was time for them to go. I'm looking for somebody to make me a great offer on that mule. I did a video on it. I'd really like somebody to say, I got the time, I got the space, I got the patience, and I have the need to get that thing running. So that would really thrill me. So come on guys, one of you out there is ready for a big project. Once again, thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing. Keep your feet down, keep your head up, and get out there and enjoy all your days, even if it's threatening to thunderstorm on you. Bye now.